3 months until the election of the mayoral race in New York City, and they are done fundraising. Gavin, you've been covering politics in an academic or professional capacity for almost a decade now, as have I. Have you ever seen a candidate for mayor, Congress, governor, president, anywhere say, "We are done fundraising. Please don't send us money, but we would love your time"? I mean, that is insane. That is historic.
Yeah, I've never seen anything like this. At first, I honestly thought he was like trolling or maybe just like saying this for attention or something. But as I've done some more investigation, it is indeed true. Democratic mayoral candidate Zohran Mamdani says he's done fundraising for the primary after reaching the public financing cap for the June election. The Democratic Socialist, who is currently serving as a state assembly member from Queens, says he plans to announce Monday that his campaign is the first in New York City mayor's race to hit the fundraising cap. So he's hit that before any of the other candidates, most of which were far more established, high profile, whatever, in this race. He has said that he has raised more than $8 million with projected matching funds from about 18,000 donors citywide, and has done so, get this, at a faster rate than any campaign in city history. So not just this election, but in the fucking history of the entire city. Zach, that's genuinely insane. Because again, this isn't someone who, like, I don't even think AOC has endorsed this guy. He hasn't really, like, he's not a huge, has she?
No, not only that, high-profile progressives have actually endorsed Brad Landers. That Greg Kasar guy came out and endorsed Zohran's opponent, even though he has absolutely no chance of winning. In fact, one of my homies, who was a local labor guy, he was like, "What do you think of Brad Landers?" I was like, Zohran Kwame Mamdani.
But isn't that crazy? Like, because it would make a little bit more sense if, like, the most high-profile left-wing politicians and celebrities, if they were all propping this guy up, and if they were all, like, you know, flooding their email lists with donate to Zohran, they're all retweeting him. That's not the case. This guy is like, he's only in the last like couple months have I heard anyone start talking about him, obviously because of his mayoral campaign, but like, this guy was not a big, huge name. He was not a celebrity. He was literally just an assembly member, representing Queens in New York City. Obviously DSA associated, DSA endorsed. But it's genuinely crazy that his rise has been so swift, so dramatic, and that not only has he, I think, reached second place in the polling, but I mean, how could you possibly track or distill enthusiasm for a campaign more so than this? The fact that he's raised so much money and that he's raised more or done so at a faster rate than any campaign in city history, reaching the maximum level and hitting the fundraising cap. That's genuinely crazy. It blows my mind. I could not have predicted it. And what it really tells me, for one, is that Zohran is a genuinely good leader. He's a genuinely competent leader. Because we see these lefties get involved in elections all the time, and oftentimes they do have the right ideology, but they're not actually competent leaders. They don't actually know how to run a ship. They don't actually know how to run a staff or get their message out. They don't understand this world. Clearly, Zohran does. He is a leader. He's organized a team efficiently and to the point where he's able to get the word out and build a movement, build momentum behind him. So that's really impressive to me. And it's just blowing my mind.
Oh yeah. And to be honest, guys, like, we've followed Zohran's career in a way that I don't think a lot of people in media have. Like, we're very grateful that he took the time to chat with us when he was first running to be a New York assemblyman. He was 28 years old. He was considered a long shot. He was running under a DSA banner as a Democratic Socialist.
During COVID, too.
During COVID, him and Jabari Brisport ran at the same time, and they both won their seats and went to Albany, and it was a big, big victory for the left. Then we covered him again, guys, because he, as Gavin said, he's a real leader. This is a guy that's about his bullshit. This is a guy that puts his money where his mouth is. This is him after he led a 15-day, let me say that again, 15-day hunger strike to get taxi medallion debt relief for the people of New Yorkers. This is from August of 2022. We covered it at the time. Assembly member Zohran Mamdani issued the following statement after City Hall announced the taxi medallion debt relief deal Tuesday. On November 3rd of last year, we broke our 15-day hunger strike with the news of a tentative agreement between the city, the New York Taxi Workers Alliance, and Marblegate, the largest taxi medallion lender in the industry. Today, we celebrate as that dream comes alive, finally providing NYC taxi drivers with the relief they deserve. Imagine going on a 15-day hunger strike as a politician. Have you ever seen anybody do that shit? He led another hunger strike after October 7th of 2023, where he came out and he said, hey guys, we are going to starve ourselves for 5 days as a way of raising awareness for the suffering of the people of Palestine. He did that too. Not only that, guys, he has a fleet of organizers. We reacted to it yesterday. He did a field organizing training session where it looked like all of the field organizers were there. And he was like, no, these are just one leader from each of our field organizing. It was a massive picture, a huge turnout, smashing success. This is a guy that is walking the walk. He's 33 years old. He is a young man. He is only 6 years older than me. He's 6.5 years older than Gavin. That is crazy talk to be bulldozing barriers, trailblazing a new kind of path to the mayoral office in New York City, somebody who's going to truly represent the American people. And he's promising shit that people need, right? He's talking about building, city-owned grocery stores, right? He's talking about building 200,000 new residential units. He's talking about making halal cheaper by making it easier for people to get permits to sell food, right? All kinds of stuff that's going to actively make New Yorkers' lives easier and make it a city that doesn't feel like Disneyland, but a place where people can actually live. One grievance I have with New York City is I feel like I'm too broke to live there, and I don't even live there. I'll go walk down the street and I'll be like, well, what the fuck? It's $16 for lunch. I can get a banh mi in Kansas City for $5 and it's awesome. You know what I mean? So people are being pushed out. It becomes a playground for the rich. It becomes a place where if your salary is less than $300,000 a year, you think you're broke. You know what I mean? And that's not healthy. That's not how people should live. And that's also, going to continue to push people further and further out of a historic city and a landmark of the United States. So I'm all in the tank for Zohran, and I can't wait to continue to watch this campaign.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. And as I was saying earlier, I think his success so far in the race, we'll see if it continues. I certainly think that it will. But not only is it a testament to Zohran's leadership capabilities, like I said, a lot of lefties have the right ideas, but they don't actually know what they're doing and they don't actually know how to run a campaign. Clearly, Zohran does. He's actually hitting the ground. He actually knows how to organize properly to get something like this done. But I also think this speaks to something else, Zach, which is that progressivism is on the rise. Leftism is on the rise. As much credit as I'm willing to give to Zohran here, I don't think it's just about him and how awesome he is. I think he represents something bigger. I think that what's happening in New York City is about to happen nationwide, and candidates like Zohran nationwide are about to become a lot more popular as people say, yeah, thank you. Finally, here's an actual alternative, not neoliberal corporate bullshit, which is what Andrew Cuomo represents and other fucking previous mayors of New York City, but no, an actual mayor for the people, an actual leader for the people. And guess what? Zohran is really essentially running on. It's affordability. He keeps talking about, make New York City affordable. That's what it is. And that should be the message of the left. You know what I'm saying? There you go. That's how you win. It's so fucking obvious. And it's actually compelling because it's an answer to this bullshit line from right wingers that, oh, we're going to bring down inflation. We're going to bring the cost down. No, you're not. Inflation's going up. We have the answers. We can actually tackle the affordability crisis by taking on corporate interests.
And I think one thing that Zohran actually has really working in his favor, in addition to the fact that he has tons of actual grassroots organic support, the fact that he's well-funded, all that jazz, is the fact that there is no real opposition to him. Who is the clear front runner from the establishment? Is it Andrew Cuomo? Really? You're going to trot that guy?
I think it is.
I mean, no, he is, right? But that's what I'm saying. That's not a very compelling candidate for people. Brad Landers, I barely know who that is, and I've had like half a dozen conversations about the guy. I'll be like, oh yeah, he's the other guy that's trying to run against Zohran that has no chance and no momentum. It reminds me of like Maya Wiley or something from the last mayoral race in New York City. But we all assumed last time that Andrew Yang was going to ride his political celebrity to be like a serious front runner in that mayoral race. He ended up getting 4th place, guys. And Eric Adams, who was a joke. Okay, Gavin and I, we don't live in New York City, but we always cover the New York City mayoral race because I think it is kind of a bellwether for how Democratic politics are going to go in the future, right? As we're seeing with Zohran. There was a retreat back to like a neoliberal kind of almost Republican with Eric Adams, just as there was with Joe Biden, right? And now people are sick of that. They're realizing that wasn't the answer. Eric Adams went and got in bed with Donald Trump, right? He embodied corruption. When he first came onto the scene, he was a total joke, though. He was like pretending to look for pot in his son's bedroom, and he didn't really live in New York City. Sound familiar? Like Andrew Cuomo doesn't really live in New York City. You know what I mean? I think because there is no unified centrist, unified establishment candidate, it actually is beneficial to Zohran, because the Brad Landers, the Andrew Cuomos, the Eric Adams of the world, whoever the fuck gets in the race that's an establishment, they'll cannibalize each other, and they'll have Zohran off in his own lane, running his own race with people who actually support him.
Yeah, we'll see. I definitely think that, it's that there's still a long road ahead in this election. And to be honest, guys, the knives haven't even really come out for Zohran. I think that's the other thing that has to be considered, is like they clearly haven't viewed him as a serious threat yet. I think they're about to, though, and I think they probably already are. But get ready for a fucking wave of attacks, guys. Get ready to hear about every statement Zohran's ever made that's even remotely problematic. They're going to call him anti-Semitic. They're going to go hard on the DSA and claim that the DSA is anti-Semitic and that anyone who's associated with them is a Jew hater. Like, trust me, it's going to get really intense. They're going to smear this man in disgusting, disgusting ways if he continues to rise in the polls.
That's actually true. And the weaponization of anti-Semitism is hella going to come out. Like, you can say whatever you want. That's 100% going to happen. They called Andrew Yang anti-Semitic. Okay. And then he immediately fell in line. Okay. So I'm just telling you, that's what's going to happen. Here's the one thing that I think Zohran does have in his corner. This guy tweeted out, I know a few people working on New York City mayoral campaigns who graduated with Zohran Mamdani at Bronx Science. None of them could say one bad thing about him. When I asked if there was anything problematic about him that could hurt his campaign later, they said no. Zohran's the real deal. This other person comes into the replies and says, I've met 3 people who went to high school with him since I've been volunteering for the campaign, and all of them had nothing but nice things to say about him. Just so refreshing. And I, too, can join that chorus, guys. We were not established podcasters. We probably had 150 subscribers at that time. We reached out to him. We were like, hey, we're young guys. We're really passionate about this. We want to talk to you. He said, of course. We played the MC Cardamom clip for him. We laughed together. I
feel like no one knows that, too, that he was a rapper.
Yeah, he was literally a rapper. Let's throw that up here just so everybody knows. MC Cardamom. There has to be something.
Definitely on YouTube. I don't know about Twitter, but yeah, he was a rapper. That was like his main thing when he came on our show. In addition to being an activist, he had not been elected to anything yet.
Yep. Let me see if I can find it. It's nothing on Twitter, which means it hasn't made its way to Twitter yet. That's actually going to be a good day for Zohran. When everybody finds out, I'll tweet out
He should be leaning on that hard to be like, look at this badass fucking mixtape track released.
Yeah, here, I'll mute it so that we don't get copyrighted for it. But this is the MC Cardamom over here. Let's see if you can find Zohran. Oh yeah, there he is. This is him when he was a rapper. Been a long way.
I think we can play some of the audio.
Okay.
Badass old lady. And I remember how he talked about filming this in like all like local New York restaurants and like bodegas and shit like that. But yeah, this guy's he's a real deal motherfucker. I always love it to see like an artist, getting involved in politics in some way. So that's always super cool too. I have a soft spot for that.
Oh, 100%. That's his song, Nani. Check out MC Cardamom. We might cut a clip of it and tweet it out for everyone, because it doesn't look like there's any evidence of MC Cardamom on Twitter. And Zohran to the top, everybody, straight up.
Yeah, maybe he's intentionally tried to hide it. He's like, I don't want people to know about my past as a radical poet.
The pen is mightier than the sword, Zohran. We're gonna liberate the people with your
blow your cover
with your sick beats and your lovely production over there. But anyway, yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah. Just wait until the establishment hears about the radical left-wing podcast that he appeared on back in 2021.
The Vanguard. Did you know that has Marxist connotations, communist connotations, USSR, Trotsky connotations? Wow. Just say you love the slaughter of innocent people.
be there, sir. The vanguard will be there, sir. The vanguard will be there, sir. The vanguard will be there. Be